Okay, this is question 3 from P1, January 2022. We look at it, we can see that it's work to do with surds, a lot of algebra involved in this one. Let's jump straight in and make a start. It says fx is equal to x plus root 2 squared plus 3x minus 5 root 8 squared. And it says, can you express this in the form ax squared plus bx root 2 plus c? So in effect, multiply this all out, tidy it all up, collect everything together, and then see what we've got here. It wants it all in the format root 2, so you've got a choice really early on. Root 8, if you do that on your calculator, it comes out to be 2 root 2. So you could change that and make it 10 root 2 and then work with that. Doesn't actually make any difference. I'm going to stick with my root 8 here and then change it a little bit later on. But either way, fx is equal to, I'm going to take quite a few steps to do with this. You might be a bit quicker at doing some of these parts, but let's go at the slowest pace. That's x plus root 2 times x plus root 2, and it's 3x minus 5 root 8 times 3x minus 5 root 8. And the only reason I'm doing this, I'll do it quickly just here, but get rid of it. I'm going to do that times that times that, then I'm going to do that times that, and that times that. And then do the same thing with the other side. Pretty much an IGCSE skill, so you should be okay at doing it. But I'm going to get x squared, root 2x. Now be careful about the way you write that. Look at, I made that really, really clear that that's root 2 times x, not root 2x. Plus 2, you could write x root 2 if that's easier for you to not make any mistakes here. Move that over because I'm going to do the rest of it. And then I'm going to have, from this one, 9x squared. I'm going to have minus 15x root 8. I'm going to have another minus 15x root 8. And then I'm going to have plus 5 root 8 times 5 root 8. Do it on your calculator if you want to. I do it as being 5 times 5 times 8, but either way, that comes out to be equal to 200 there. What have we got here then? Let's collect together everything we can collect together. I've got 10x squared. I've got x root 2 and x root 2, so I've got 2x root 2 there. I've got minus 30x root 8, and I've got plus 202 in total. So if you hadn't already done this at this stage, I need to get rid of the root 8 there. Ideally, at your level, you should know that root 8 is 2 root 2. You can just stick it into the calculator. Just convince yourself of it. So I've actually got here 10x squared plus 2x root 2. If that's 2 root 2, then it's 60x root 2 plus 202, which then works out to be 10x squared. What have we got there? Minus 58. Oops, need just handwriting. Minus 58x root 2 plus 202. So have I got that in the right sort of format? Yes, I have. A is equal to 10, B is equal to minus 58, and C is equal to 202. So done part A. Or done part 1, sorry. On to part 2. What do they tell me for this? They say solve the equation root 3, 4y minus 3 root 3 is equal to 5y plus root 3. So sort of form a game plan before you get started, multiply everything out, get the y's all onto one side. You'll probably need to divide, just see what we get at that stage. Do be aware I'm trying to get it to p plus q root 3. I'm not worrying about that at this stage. I want to get started with it first of all. So I've got root 3, 4y minus 3 root 3 is equal to 5y plus root 3, which is going to multiply everything out. Just be aware of, I'm trying to keep my handwriting nice and neat. I'm also trying to do each step on the next line down. For me, it means I think I'm less likely to make a mistake, and for the examiner, it means it's easier for them to follow through what I'm doing. So I've got 4 root 3y. I've got minus 3 root 3 times root 3. Do it on the calculator if you need to, but I'd hope that some of you can see that that's just 3 times 3. Nothing to do on the other side, so leave that as it is. And now here, get the y's onto one side, get the numbers onto the other side. You can take steps if you want to do it, shouldn't really need to. 4 root 3y minus 5y is equal to root 3 plus 9. They've just swapped over. And I knew I was going to be getting to this stage in my game plan at the start. I want to take y as a factor here, because now I can just divide out for my next bit. So that's root 3 plus 9 all over 4 root 3 minus 5. That sounded like I'd finished there, didn't it? But one of the points of surds is that we cannot have a surd on the denominator, on the bottom. This is a no-no, can't have the root 3 there. So I've got to get rid of it. And again, if you've done enough practice, times it by root 3 is not going to be any good, because yeah, I'll get rid of that one, but I'll introduce a root 3 with the 5 there. So hopefully your teachers have showed you that what we need to do in order to rationalise this denominator is whatever you've got on the bottom here. If it's a minus b, you're going to times it by a plus b. If it's a plus b, you're going to times it by a minus b. So I'm going to times that by 4 root 3 plus 5 there. Now I can't just times something by 1 over root 4 root 3 plus 5. Okay, so the only way I can make it that the equation holds true is to multiply it by that, because really now I'm only multiplying it by 1. Now when we're doing these, the top part you're going to have to do using that thing that I just did a minute ago when we do that business. But really, if you've done enough practice of these, you should be able to work out what's going to happen with the bottom part. I'm going to get 4 root 3 times 4 root 3. I'm going to get plus 5 lots of it, but minus 5 lots of it. So the middle two are going to cancel. So when I do these, I'm going to give you a certain amount of standards here. I am not going to write, well, let's do the first part. When I do the top part, root 3 times 4 root 3, I'm happy to do that. That's 36 root 3. 9 times 5 is 45. Root 3 times 4 root 3 gives us 12. And root 3 times 5 gives us 5 root 3. So that's all fine on the top there. Just make sure I said that clear enough. It's that times that times that, this times this, and this times this. The order of it does not matter. As long as you end up with those 4 terms, then we're okay with that. But on the bottom here, this is what I was focusing on. This is going to be 4 root 3 times 4 root 3. Well, that's 48. The other one's going to be 5 times minus 5. That's minus 25. I don't bother about the middle two terms. They're always going to cancel. I want to save myself a bit of time. I want to be less likely to make mistakes when I'm actually going through and doing this now. So now I can just say on the bottom, I've got 23. And on the top, quite often here, they'll have multiples of 23 and things will cancel out. It doesn't in this case. It's actually just 41 root 3 and plus 57. But there are situations where we'd be looking to cancel things here, but not in this particular question. Okay, hopefully that makes sense.